you can just keep printing dollars. It's going to make it, and it's making it more and more useless each time they do that. Cryptocurrency, since it has
Absolutely.
its end cap value, will keep its value, and I feel like will almost trump the dollar here soon.
When I started going to church, we had church 3-4 times a week, every week. Nowadays, I can't find a church when I travel from town to town that's having more than 2 services a week.
What do you think of the current state of the government shutdown?
I'm a big fan of the shutdown.
You and I tried some new dessert delicacies this past weekend.
We did. I stopped by Carumbo.
The Dubai chocolate brownie
Yes.
is probably my favorite thing ever. Just go straight on into it. All
Good
right.
afternoon, my brother.
Well, I mean, good evening, I guess.
It's starting to seem more
Already.
like an evening at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
It certainly does, especially up here in Wyoming. Sun's already down. There's a little bit
Yeah.
of sunlight left, as you
Yeah.
can see if you're watching the video version, but definitely reaching a point to where it's getting dark soon. It's getting dark early. We actually just had the time change.
Yes, that time change definitely hit me kind of right between the eyes. I don't know what happened, but I lost an hour of sleep in there somewhere.
You actually gained an hour of sleep.
What? Mhm.
Hearing
It's kind of
that, I
it's
think
kind of one of those things where you know it's happening, so you take advantage of it and you stay awake a little bit longer. Yes, I did that, and it shows when you look at my eyes.
nice and tired. I get it. I'm still adjusting too. It's been a crazy week, but slow week. Very weird to say.
Yeah. Well, you're on the last day for you of turnaround, correct?
Officially.
Yes.
Yep. Anyone out there familiar with the refinery life and the turnaround life? Yes, this is the last day of this turnaround. Very stoked, especially because I'm going straight into a early weekend adventure and going to be doing a little bit of traveling. But yep, that's to come. That we haven't quite gotten there yet. This past weekend, though, this uh past weekend was Halloween.
Yes,
Got to
that's
do a little bit
correct.
of Halloween
So it
and
was a double whammy, right? I traveled
yep.
to Wyoming and celebrated with you guys and really enjoyed my time with family. But it was Halloween, so everybody's doing stuff, right? All kinds of stuff happening around us. And then on top of that, gaining an hour, strangely enough, turned into a lost hour for me.
Yeah, yep.
Although Lizzie and Dan gained an hour going to Texas. Which,
That was weird because when I talked to her, she told me that they traveled overnight the same night as daylight savings and they went from Wyoming to Texas, which is an hour. There's a difference in the time change, or on top of the time change, there's an hour and time zone change there. And they
right,
went back an hour, but
right.
they
Well,
fell back an hour, but they gained an hour going to Texas. So it's like nothing happened.
yeah. So Texas is Central Time, and they're an hour ahead of us. So what
Yes.
should have been 3 o'clock because it's 2 o'clock her time, suddenly became 2 o'clock in Texas time.
But the daylight savings change fell back an hour. So even though it was supposed to go forward from 3 to 4, the daylight savings saved it and brought it back down to 3. So it's
Correct.
like
Yeah, yeah. That's
time stood
yeah,
still.
exactly. Yeah, what should have been when she's going through tech, going crossing that line that becomes it's always kind of fascinating traveling in that time of year on that night,
It
especially when
certainly
you're doing it
is.
overnight for them. But they also made better time than you would have normally.
That's also true. Saved an hour. Went from an 18-hour to a 19-hour drive. So
Yep.
that's always nice.
Yep. So what's going on in your world today? Last day of turnaround, of course.
Yes, sir. Last day of turnaround. Enjoyed this past weekend. But first, everyone,
Okay.
welcome to Duo Jive. I figure we might as well just go straight into it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Welcome.
before
Welcome.
we get too heavy into it, yes, welcome to this week's episode. Welcome to Duo Jive. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've tuned into all 26 episodes, whoa, 26 episodes. Thank you, by the way, if you listen to them, and thanks for joining us on this journey.
Absolutely.
But yeah, welcome to Wyoming's #1 podcast for questionable advice, accidental wisdom, and deeply unnecessary storytelling.
I love that, especially the deeply unnecessary storytelling.
We started it off right off the bat there with daylight savings time.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's funny because my mom called me today and asked me how in the world she can see or hear our podcasts. And of course, I let her know. And I talked her through the process of downloading the podcast app on her phone so that she could check it out. And I told her, you're going to have to watch roughly 25. At that time, I actually thought it was more than that. 24, I mean, less than that, 24 episodes just to hear us talk about the fact that she's joining us on our podcast journey with Duo Jive.
All
Welcome,
right,
Mom.
that's exciting.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, Grandma, if you're out there. And this finally catching up, whether you started from the beginning or that actually brings me straight into the next segment. Do you know what platform she was listening on?
Podcast, podcasts.
Apple Podcast.
Yes. I'm sorry, I should
Okay.
have said that because but to me, there's no other app called, the name of the company and podcast as the name, so I just called
Gotcha.
it
Yeah, it's
I just
Apple
call it podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Well, whether you're listening on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, all of the platforms, whether you're
YouTube.
listening or watching on YouTube, yep, watching
Yes.
or listening on YouTube. Shout
Yes.
out to you guys for
Yes, yes.
checking us out there. Thanks for listening and make sure to hit that subscribe. Make sure to leave us a comment so we know what to do in the future whenever it comes to new episodes and maybe new topics because we're always curious, always looking for new topics and different
Absolutely.
stuff on what's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of funny because there are so many platforms on which you can hear or even see Duo Jive. And collectively, I'm interested in totaling up what the collective audience is. But nonetheless, we are very appreciative that you're here. Absolutely.
Agreed.
What else is going on? So you're leaving tomorrow, correct?
Yep, leaving tomorrow, so we have that to look forward to this coming week. I'll probably be doing a little bit of posting on that, but that'll definitely be down the road,
What do you
hopefully
mean?
within the next I'll be doing some posts on it, vlog style posts
Yes,
to see our
because,
journey going and flying to Texas.
okay. And because something you're known for. On both sides, whether it's your personal or Duo Jive, it's going to be food. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I would like to get more heavy into the food. I like to enjoy something new and share it, but maybe start doing some reviews and such on different delicacies and different type of food reviews would be fun.
Which you do to a moderate degree. I mean, it's not an extreme degree by any chance, but it's not a light degree either. You know, you do have a lot of content surrounding food, different kinds of food, the way food tastes, and making stuff that's healthy, both healthy and tasty. I think that's the part that really makes, especially your personal podcasts or your personal blog posts or whatever we call them, your personal posts really stand out because you do some really cool stuff. And because and what got me off onto this tangent was because you are going down to the land of restaurants.
That I am. I'm going to have a lot at my disposal. Too much, not enough time, too much to try. So I'll definitely have to hopefully pick good options there.
Yep. Yep.
We'll see once the time comes, but
Well, you're
as
pretty
far
good.
as trying food,
Yes,
as far as trying food, we were actually you and I tried some new dessert delicacies this past weekend
we did. We absolutely did. Yep.
that you
And
brought to me.
I did, as a matter of fact. Well, because of the fact that I was coming from Denver, Fort Collins to home, I most certainly made it a point to stop by. Of course, partially by request. I was going to do it anyway, but because you requested, I stopped by Carumbo.
Rumble cookie.
I did it. I most certainly did, and we loaded up.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
I
love
got
how.
a few of the minis because I wanted to try a few different flavors, but the biggest one being the Dubai chocolate again. The Dubai the Dubai chocolate brownie is
Yes,
probably my favorite thing ever.
and yes, I'm in agreement with you, bro. We are we're connected on that one, brother, because that's
It is
wow.
good stuff.
It's kind of amazing. And I don't know, I guess the chocolate is Dubai chocolate, named Dubai chocolate because of the way it's made, an ingredient, but it's also got pistachio in it, which is amazingly
That's what makes it Dubai.
okay. But
So
it's
it's
not
a
in the
mix
chocolate.
actually.
So the Dubai
No,
so
so it's got the chocolate milk or milk chocolate like top layer, and then it's got the brownie, and then the Dubai part of it is the pistachio cream with this thing called kadaf or kadifi. I don't know. There's different pronunciations on it, but it's like this stuff that you cook up in a pan and it turns into like little crunchy bits that you put in with the pistachio cream, and that's
What?
what gives it that crunch.
I did not see any of that in the description that was offered up at Crumble. Nonetheless, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it
It's
was
good
my second
stuff.
one. It's my second one. Both of them, all because of you, naturally. But yeah, man,
Well,
I'm really excited
what can
about
I
it.
say?
Yeah. What can you
Now,
say?
that was something that we've tried about that's something we've tried before. That wasn't a new dessert for the week. Can we thinking when we go back to thinking about new desserts, did we try a new dessert? Did you?
No, sir, I did not.
You just
Did
stuck with
I?
the classic, huh?
Well, I mean, that was kind of my fill of the fattening sweet stuff, you know, this weekend having not just a Dubai chocolate brownie, and which I ate all by myself, a monstrous Dubai chocolate brownie. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine that I did it, but that's massive. It is big, right? And I ate it. And then on top of that, had a few extras as well because I brought a half dozen to the party and tried a couple of them as well.
So that means you did try new desserts then. If you tried those,
Well, I did, but I don't remember what they were. They weren't very memorable. Although there's
not like the
one.
Dubai chocolate brownie.
No, not at all. Although there's one that might have been memorable if I'd have taken time to eat it, but I was so full, man. I was freaking slammed. My belly was beyond. I was probably looking pregnant about that time, but that French
I
toast, it felt like it anyway. But that French toast cookie from Crumble looked like a
The
piece of
French
French
toast
toast.
cookie. It did. It was more French toast than
Yes.
cookie. That was one of the 3 minis, so I too was concerned about being too full, but I wanted to be able to try some different, more new something that I haven't tried before, and I ended up getting a mini 3-pack of the crumble cookies, and I got the French toast, I got the Halloween chocolate milk or Halloween vanilla milkshake sprinkles, and the dirt cake. All 3 of them were really good, I'm gonna be honest with you. To start off right off the bat, they were all 3
Yes.
really
Yes.
good, but the most
Yes.
notable were
Yes.
definitely the Halloween milkshake one. That one kinda stood out.
Yes, and I'm wishing that I had tried that one, as a matter of fact, because you gave it a really
They
high
did a good
score.
job on the milkshake flavor.
Oh, really? It tasted like a milkshake?
Yeah, that's the crazy part. It wasn't like eating a sugar cookie. It had sprinkles in it, but it had a milkshake flavor going for it that's kind of what did it. French toast, it was French toast, more French toast than cookie. Dirt cake was classic. If you love chocolate, that's the move for sure. But as far as the Halloween milkshake, that one was a surprise and it was really good.
Yeah, I wish I would have tried it. Nonetheless, we'll have an opportunity. I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll label it a chocolate milkshake Thanksgiving. I don't know, 4th of July cookie or something like that. But yeah, man,
Maybe.
that's all I ate this weekend. And you tried several.
So we're gonna have to step up our game. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to step up our game. We're gonna have to really bump it up so that way on our next week's dessert segment, we have something really cool to share when it comes to trying a really cool dessert. And hey, if anyone out there listening knows a really like niche dessert spot, possibly ice cream, I don't even care, cookies, brownies, it can be specific, it can be a variety. If you have a really cool hole in the wall dessert spot that's super unique, let us know. And if it's within our area, especially the Denver area, in Wyoming for that matter, hit us up because we just might have to try it.
Well, I mean, Wyoming could be starting anywhere from central Wyoming all the way out to the far east side, which would be Cheyenne, Laramie, right? Because that's on the way to everything, sort of. Not really Cheyenne, but it can be. And then, of course, you've got Fort Collins, Loveland, and all of those towns in between Wyoming and Denver, and a lot of area there and a lot of opportunities because there are a lot of different restaurants. And unfortunately, we've not tried, we have probably haven't even tried a third of them or even a tenth of them, right? So if you have an idea, please do share it with us because I'm very interested. And as you can see, Noah is too. What else is
There
going
we go.
on?
Other than traveling to Colorado and enjoying the week, well, I was working a good amount, but enjoying the weekend as much as I could with family for Halloween. That's about it, you know. Same old, same old. Been just trying to keep the flow going and wrap it up over here and get to this
Okay.
today, wrap up today so that way we can hang out. We'll
Yep.
actually be seeing you
Yep.
tomorrow, which is exciting.
Yes, it is. Very exciting. I'm pretty freaking stoked. And so, yeah,
We're
you
gonna
guys are
have to
going to
go get
come
a quick bite to eat or
midday?
something.
Absolutely.
Yes, we'll be over there
Absolutely.
midday, and I'm thinking maybe, well, we could do both. We could not only grab a quick bite, but maybe even start that dessert endeavor and see what we can find tomorrow. That might be our mission for the day.
Right on for next week. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. When you get back, now you're coming back on Sunday?
Yes,
You're
we'll be back
coming back
Sunday.
Sunday? Okay. And then I'm assuming when you get back in, you're going to have a little bit more time available to you. Am I mistaken?
That's true, but we do have prior arrangements already that I don't want to speak of quite yet because I'm going to bring it up in next week's episode. So if you're curious to see what we end up doing this coming week, then make sure to tune in on next week's episode because it'll be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what you and I think. We'll be going together and give our review on it, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay. So you're coming back into town Sunday. We're going to do something that will be worth talking about this coming Tuesday or next Tuesday. And so that'll be on next week's episode. We're not going to provide information to our listeners and viewers until next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. Look forward to that.
Okay. All right. Well, next week it is. Of course, it's nice to have something to look forward to. So I'm kind of happy.
Me too. I agree. I'm excited to see what this place is all about. There's a hint. We'll leave it at that.
Rock on, bro.
Can't get too
So you
heavy
got any
into it.
special plans? You got any special plans that you can talk about for while you're down in Texas?
Yeah, of course we're gonna hit up Whataburger. Of course we're gonna hit up probably a Cold Stone. I'm gonna have to hit those up. We'll see what else comes to happen because we're gonna be hanging out with some family, so we might do a little bit of exploring. Yeah, I'm excited to see what where we end up going with that. But that's this coming week to come.
Okay.
What about you? Did you do anything this week? This past week?
Dude, no. I mean, I went to Wyoming and then I came back and I pretty much became a hermit. I felt like sleeping, so I did. And while I was at, I of course worked, but then I came home from work and slept. And now that I've become a dog owner again, you may or may not know about that. Were you aware of that?
Yep, you told us right before you left or I left on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I couldn't ask for a better dog. This dog is one of two that Lizzie got, and they were good dogs to have, especially with horses because they'd go after them. They would, they're a little bit nippy as far as the horse hooves are concerned. That's how they round them up. But other than that, they've been good dogs for that, and they're wonderful dogs. These dogs are wonderful dogs for protecting. They're very loyal and very
What
protective.
type of dog is
So
that?
I've that's a blue tick healer.
Blue tick healer.
Yeah, it's more of a blue healer, but it's got a little tick in it.
So you're adjusting to living with a dog then?
Yes, I am. Yep. I live in a 40-foot motorhome with three slide outs. It's a little spacious for one person, not too spacious for a dog, but it's not a full size dog, fortunately. She stands, kind of medium sized. But what really helps is that she's a wonderful, wonderful indoor dog. She sheds a little bit, so I'm having to vacuum like every day because you know me, because I'm a little bit of a neat freak. But other than that, I mean, there is no argument whatsoever. Did now funny thing is I ordered a pizza yesterday, and of course I fed her one piece of pizza because that's the right thing to do, right?
Of course.
Share. So I ate two pieces. She ate one. So I had three-quarters of a pizza left, or a little bit under three-quarters of a pizza left on the counter. Left it in the box. I don't refrigerate pizza after I eat it because it makes it hard. I leave it out and I let the next morning or the next afternoon I'll warm it up and it's not as though it was hard. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Some people will gross out about that, but I don't care. And today, guess what she did? She decided to have herself some pizza for lunch.
She got some, huh?
She ate it all. She ate all the pizza was in there. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I'm having to adjust to because I haven't had anybody around that would steal my food, if I left it for the day.
So does that
So, I
mean you
mean,
have to
other than
order
that, and I
more
can't blame
pizza?
her. I did, as a matter of fact.
So you got pizza tonight for dinner too?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, actually, I get off at noon. So when I got off, I went and ordered another pizza and brought it home. And I've got it in a very high secure space for the rest of the night tomorrow. So that
So
while
you've
I go to work
learned.
tomorrow morning, yeah, I did the painful way. But I mean, it was just a $12 pizza. I didn't really care, but it was the fact that I had to go get another one because I had my heart set on coming home and eating some pizza. You know, I
So
can make a I
what
can make a
type of
large
pizza
pizza.
was it?
It was pepperoni.
From
And
where?
I can make Brothers Pizza. It's a gas station store. It's a gas station
Oh, okay.
pizza place.
I am familiar actually.
And
I am
but it's
familiar.
a
I've seen it.
really, yeah. And I'm a fan of it. Strangely, I'm a fan of that pizza. And so, I had my heart set on coming home and getting a couple more pieces. And I was going to share one. I was going to be nice. I was going to share. Where'd you go, dog? Because I was gonna share one with her. I have no idea where she went. I guess she went to my room. But yeah,
You're
I
being
was
too
gonna
loud
share.
there.
Be nice. I'm being too
She's
what?
trying to sleep. You're being too loud. She's trying to sleep. She had to go to the other room.
No, guess what? She just moved my computer because I've got my computer on a box so that it's at eye level while we're doing the podcast, and she's right below it. And
Okay.
she just, I guess she looked to see where I was at, heard my name. Yeah, or heard
Okay.
me mention her name. So yeah, or maybe she heard me talking about she was a bad girl. But nonetheless, I'm really big fan. She's a good dog. She doesn't bark hardly ever. I don't think I've ever heard her bark. She sits and looks at you like she's staring through your soul if you just look at her. So apparently she's got the look down pat, and she looks at you like,
And
any chance I can get a bite? And she did that today,
she's
but I
gonna
wasn't
ask
giving
for it,
her
yeah.
none. I gave her
You had
she
plenty.
she wanted
You
some, I
had
could tell,
plenty.
but yeah, yeah. She ate enough to where the next two pizzas, she's not getting any of my pizza, that's for sure. Because she ate a whole half plus. Almost three quarters. Yeah, brother. That was me and my strange excitement.
Okay, yeah, that I will say that is strange and it is exciting. So you definitely nailed it there. I'm glad you have somebody there with you. You know, that always it can get lonely whenever you're on the road like that, but having a partner in crime kind of helps being able to come home and hang out with them and have somebody steal your pizza.
It is healthy. Well, yeah, right, exactly. And that was kind of, I'll never tell her it was funny, but I thought it was a little bit funny, and I was bad at the same time. Go figure. Having her here is very healthy because I'm letting her outside to use the restroom frequently. I don't want her using the restroom in here, right? So I'm on top of that. I'm very, very attuned to whether or not it's about that time when she might need to use the restroom. But I don't want her to be stuck in here, right? I'm only gone. I'm gone. Fortunately, I'm on a job where I've got 8-hour days, 5 days a week. So I've got a lot of time available to spend time with her. And so I also, when I come home from work, I'm really excited to get her out of the RV. So the first thing I do is take her running, and we run all the way around the trailer park. And if nothing more, it's been extremely beneficial in that regard. So I'm very thankful there.
Keeping you healthy.
Yes, absolutely. And having a dog tends to do that. If you want to give that dog some exercise, right? Do the right thing. Be fair about the fact that she can't get out the door. So, naturally you want to give her a good little jog when you get home. And
Not to change the subject too much, but I do have a question for you.
all right, I'm ready.
What do you think of the current state of the government shutdown?
Okay, so you may or may not have opened a can of worms
Was that a deep question?
because, well, no, no, no. I'm a big fan of the shutdown. On a personal
Really?
level, I like the fact. Yes, absolutely. I love the fact that the government shut down for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it proves we don't need as much government as we've got. We're just fine. We're cooking along just fine. Business is happening just fine. We don't need the government. Now, we do need the government to do its job, which is protect our country, right? But it hasn't been well until Trump got back into office. We weren't doing that at all. We were destroying our country. But now we're doing a better job at positioning ourselves as the leader, and I feel like our country is being protected. And so for that reason, I'm glad, and I want government in our country for that reason. If that makes any sense, protect our borders, be the government in that regard.
I agree with you there. That's very important. And I actually, now that you've said what you've said, as far as where we've gone this long not having government and we're doing just fine. Like I actually didn't realize it until you said it, and that was actually another question I was going to ask was is the government shutdown going too long? I didn't know if maybe we were kind of reaching the breaking point. For example,
No,
the flights, the airports are seem to be seriously delayed because of it. And because I'm flying out has me a little concerned. That's the extent of it, which is kind of funny now that you mention it. Yeah,
no,
it's definitely not as serious as we thought.
absolutely not. And TSA has streamlined well enough to where they don't need as much TSA, if that makes any sense. And they'll still get you through the security checkpoints of the airport fast enough. And as if that wasn't enough, they already have an emergency fund or budget in place to fund those. What do they call that? The same thing happens when something happens at the refinery. Key personnel have to stay behind when they evacuate the refinery. Crucial or fundamental.
Essential.
What do they call those personnel? Essential. There you go. Essential personnel stay behind. The same thing happens with government. We've already got the protocols built in so that the essential personnel stay in place. Sadly, that includes Congress. I wish to God we could vote all of that crap out concerning Congress. So when Congress can't do its job, right? See, this whole thing is happening because Congress is not able to do its job. They're not able to do their job. They're idiots for the most part, and they don't need to be in the role that they're in, quite frankly. They can't balance a budget to save their lives. And that's the reason why we've been adding trillions of dollars every year to the government budget, if you or our
Don't
deficit.
even get me
Okay,
started on that.
so the government's
The
screwed in that
US
regard.
dollar, from my perspective, real quick, the US dollar, from my perspective, has lost value in comparison to to something that of cryptocurrency because of the fact that you can just keep printing dollars. It's going to make it, and it's making it more and more useless each time they do that. And cryptocurrency, since it has
Absolutely.
its end cap value, will keep its value, and I feel like will almost trump the dollar here soon. And it really that don't even get me started on that tangent. But I haven't looked too heavy into the extent of the government shutdown. Kind of like what you were saying, where we've gone this long and it hasn't really drastically changed. Now that you think about it,
That is correct. Yeah, I mean, okay, you might run into some snags or time delays in the airport, right? But in what other way is the government shutdown going to affect you? It's not going to. It won't affect you at all. Now, it will affect people that have been living off of the SNAP benefits for some time. And some of those people don't deserve those SNAP benefits. And quite frankly, I think the shutdown's a good thing. Purge
some
the
do.
system of the people that are, yes, yes. And I'm a big fan of purging the system, quite frankly. I know
I
it sounds
agree.
bad. I know it
Yeah,
sounds
well,
unkind. It does, but it's
but at what
necessary,
point I mean, at what
especially.
point, how long can we take the abuse whenever it comes to people abusing the system and taking advantage of it and just lingering and living off of it rather than providing themselves a sustainable income if they are able to, if they are capable of doing so and they're just lazy rather than the people that, you know, are in an unfortunate situation, not capable, and those people going through the right pathways in finding the right way to help them and get that help and that aid needed. But when you're capable and you're just abusing the system, yeah, I completely agree. It's time to clean it out.
I didn't catch that last part.
Just talking about cleaning out the system.
Absolutely. I think, well, I mean, the government has a lot ahead of them as far as getting a hold of that the way that this has been taken advantage of. I believe, and this is just me, but I believe there are more people taking advantage of the government using SNAP benefits, Section 8 housing, and all types of other things to subsidize their lifestyle I believe there are far more people doing that than what people deserve it.
Well, that's crazy
And
because
there
if there
should
are
be a
people that
time
are
constraint.
taking advantage of that, they are definitely imagine all the money that we would save if it's a majority abuse.
I think we might find ourselves in a better position to jump off of that subject, finish at a different time, segue into another part, like for example, church attendance, for example, or something like that. Something we've already hit on and may benefit from some other attention.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think I was ill prepared on my end whenever it came to asking a
The
question
government
like
shutdown.
that because we definitely, huh?
The government shutdown.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's a conversation that needs some time, and I am lacking in that with my location whereabouts. But
Yeah,
hopefully, here that'll be fixed with our next episode. But in the meantime, yeah, it's definitely it'll get fixed. Apologies in advance.
I think our listeners, no doubt, have a lot of opinions about that as well.
I think it'll be a topic that we can reconvene. This can be more of just a filler episode, just a more recap of what we
Teaser.
did this week. Yeah, a
Yeah.
teaser recap of what we did this week, and leave it at that. Really, I mean,
Well, but the one thing that I do have to know, you're going to St. Louis. I mean, going to St. Louis. You're going to Houston. Are you guys going to be there on Sunday? Are you coming back on Sunday?
nope, we're gonna be coming back Saturday night, so we will be back with you in Denver, and then that's why we're gonna be doing some taste testing review on Sunday,
Okay. All right. Cool. Then there's a possibility you guys might even go to church with me on Sunday morning.
possibly. Yep,
Yeah.
I think so.
Right on. I'm excited about that. Really excited for you to see where I'm going, experience what I'm experiencing, and also give us your take on it, compared to my perspective, since I am visiting this church in Strasbourg.
I'm excited to see what you've been talking about. You've been hyping this up for a bit, so being able to see it in person will be fun.
What do you think the percentages are of people that actually take time to find a church at a new place? When they go to a new place, they're being stationed at a new place to work, or they're showing up in a town for vacation. What do you think the percentages are of people that actually take time to find a place to worship? Just take a
Not
wild guess.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think it's probably less than 10%.
Wow, you think that low?
Yes. I'm just guessing, but as far as so this is my market research, right? I've been walking around this whole job site, roughly 480 people, right? Down this whole job site. And I've been making friends everywhere I go and in every trade and security guards and what have you. And I've been mentioning, hey, I'm looking for a really good church. Have you found one since you've been here? Because there's a lot of people in from out of town, right? And I've asked him, hey, have you found a good church since you've been here working this job or working with all these people here? And have you heard of a good one and nobody, I mean, nobody had anything to offer except for one security guard. I take that back. Two security guards go to the same church, right? One of the security guards, it's like your mom, right? She goes to it or normally goes to a church and would tell people about it. And she even went as far as to say that she's going to a really good church, got me really excited. And I visited, and that's where I've been going, right? This is what I've been telling you about. But I would almost say, based on the experiences that I've had here, less than 10%, even more less
Wow,
than 10. Yes.
that is disappointingly low.
Yes, sir, it is. But that is disappointingly low, eh?
Yep. Yeah, it's disappointingly low, and I feel like that. What can we do to fix that?
Wow. Okay. Well, okay. Maybe share with our listeners slash viewers a little bit of what scripture has to say about it. You think they care?
I think so, as long as you can kind of help show them how to care or why to care. I think
Okay.
you don't need to be swayed into it, but letting them understand, here's the here is the foundation as to what you can look for. In a previous episode, I've actually kind of went over, when you're looking for new churches and such, what are the core or the key aspects you look for. And go check that
Exactly.
episode out if you haven't, but
Exactly.
just
3
look, just
episodes
kind of
ago.
creating that foundation and those key points and then growing off of that maybe, but doing it in a way to where people are intrigued.
Absolutely. Well, for example, what motivates me to want to go find a church when I'm in town, right? I enjoy worshiping God by myself. I wake up in the morning praying
But you're
and
also big
worshiping
on
God.
being a in fellowship.
Absolutely, and that's where I was going. I enjoy worshiping God by myself. I enjoy the prayer times that I have here. I pray when I'm in my car driving to the job site. Every single time I'm in my car going to the job site, I'm praying and thanking God for my day. I used to spend time when driving to my job sites, plural, because that was my habit of just thinking about my day, thinking about what I got to do and all that stuff. And I decided not to waste my time on that. I start my day off with scripture and prayer, and then I pray and worship God while I'm going to a job site. And I feel like God has drawn me closer since then. And as a result, I am now looking for an opportunity, but I also realize the value in it as well. I'm looking for an opportunity to worship God corporately. That word just defines a church, right? If we're coming together as a people corporately, that's the word that's used, and worshiping Him, how much more weight, how much more value, how much more power does that have? You know, I mean, really, and I just can't get past that. I think about what the children of Israel did when they worshipped God, and what the uh, when the children of Israel were following Joshua as he surrounded the city of Jericho and worshipped God, and how the walls fell flat because of that worship. All these examples, I can't help but get excited about it.
Well, that's how that we need to figure out how to teach people in a way to where they stay invested, or show
Yep,
people a way
yep,
to where they're invested behind it.
yep.
And like I was saying, I get you're both you can do it in the privacy of your own home, but you're also big with fellowshipping with people, and that's a good starting point. That helps a lot of people, but it doesn't have help everyone because you have people out there that are like, "Oh yeah, fellowshipping, that's a big part of why I go to church." And then there's more and more people and more young people that are like, "I'm fine staying home. I can do it on social media. I'll just leave it at that." And I feel like there's a key missing aspect whenever it comes to doing church on the screen at home rather than going in person and being in fellowship. And man,
Well,
figuring that
I've, I,
out, that is the question.
and I've quoted a scripture many times in your hearing, Hebrews 25. Remember 10, I think it is, yeah, chapter 10, verse 25. Forsake not the assembling of yourselves together, as the manner of some is, describes our current time period in church history wonderfully, because it says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together as the manner of some is. When I started going to church, we had church 3-4 times a week, every week. Nowadays I can't find a church when I travel from town to town to town that's having more than 2 services a week. And most of the time, those services are happening on Sunday morning. Nothing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, right?
Yep.
Except maybe a youth night or something like that. But so that scripture really nailed it. We are in that time, as the manner of some is, right? As the manner of our churches are. But the Bible says, but also much the more you should fellowship as you see that evil day approaching. And we most certainly can see the evil day approaching. We must spend more time in worship. And I don't go to church to get anything. I go to church to give all when it comes to worship and praise. And sometimes people need to understand where they are in their lives. Hopefully, our listeners, hopefully, our viewers understand where they are in their lives, may not be stepping up to what God desires before He starts blessing like He wants to, may not be providing God back what He needs in order to minister to people effectively and save some people from hell that He needs you to save or to reach out to or to minister to, because we're too busy trying to make it just on a one service a week, make it on one service a week, one time of fellowship per week. That's just something that I think God needs people to know right now. But I'm off my soapbox.
Well, there you have it. And I hate to cut and run, but I'm pretty sure my phone's gonna die before we even finish the outro. I'm running on fumes here, but
All right, buddy.
yeah, at least we got some form of substance out, and it's not just random jumble of cutting out and cutting in this whole episode. Bear
That's
with
true.
me if you guys made it through this episode. Thanks for listening. It was a little bit of a doozy. That was on my end, but promises are it will get better for me on my end next week. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
it'll get better, I
Yes.
promise. But
Yes. Agreed.
yes, I guess just with that, I mean, it's understanding how can we captivate the people to let them understand their relationship with God is important, and to get back into church, get invested in church. How do we do that? Because right now it's just not working out, and maybe, but not as a world, as a United States community to the length of the United States. And then let us know your guys' favorite desserts, so that way we can come find your hole in the wall spots that we can try and taste test.
Absolutely. Way to go, brother.
All right,
Good
I think
talking
I'm
to you.
getting out of here.
All right, buddy.
All
Love
right,
you.
and remember, live life to the fullest.
It's a nice way to end it.